Welcome, everyone, to another weekly Slab. My name is Aaron, one of your hosts here on the SlabStox YouTube show. We are on episode number 20 right now, joined by Nate. Nate, thanks for being here once again. And I think we have a little bit of an abbreviated episode today, going for a shorter topic and trying to do some quick hitter information. So I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, should be a good time.
And today on the episode, we are going to be talking about the release calendar for sports card products in April and May, and then the first week of June. There is quite a bit of, I'd say, tension here in this release calendar for many reasons, most of which has been caused, you could say, by COVID and supply chain issues. However, certain companies are pretty on schedule for releases, and certain companies are not. I'm sure a lot of you can maybe guess it just by knowing what has and has not released at this point. But Topps Baseball Series 1 released pretty on time this year. Topps Chrome is supposed to come on in July of this year. That's pretty on time for what's normal. And as we sit here today, it is currently April 20th, 2022. And the draft for NFL is on April 29th. But something like Prism NFL for 2021 rookies that already played a full season still is not released and will not release until after the draft. And we'll dive into that more later. But that just sounds ridiculous, does it not, Nate? That just sounds stupid.
It does. The fact that Revolution is one of the lesser brands coming out on the 27th, and you still don't have a Prism or anything like that.
Revolution for NBA.
For NBA, yeah. And who knows? The Timberwolves might be out of the playoffs by the 27th type of thing. And yeah, so Anthony Edwards would be like one of the last big rookies standing.
Who's one of the last big rookies standing?
I said Anthony Edwards.
Oh, well, you are a little confused here because that's 2021 with Cade Cunningham, not
2020.
Revolution 2020 released a long time ago.
I am confused. All right,
Nate's a little confused. I'm assuming that there might be some listeners out there confused, trying to piece together the different NBA seasons, the different rookies. And I can't blame any of you because when you have products like Immaculate and Flawless NBA releasing a whole year after they played, it makes sense. So we're going to start at the top, though, with what's coming out most recently. And today is the 20th as we're recording. But on the 22nd, there will be the first ever 2021 Bowman University football. This is not a draft picks product. So we've seen draft picks in the past from Panini where they literally have college uniforms. It's players who are going into the NFL then already. They're not staying at college. This product right here is a full-on NIL product that they just introduced this past season into NCAA, name, image, and likeness, where players can sign deals with different brands to collect earnings. So this is going to release with both players that are going to continue playing in college, like Bryce Young, the Heisman winner this past season, but also include players like Chris Olave and Malik Willis, who are going to be drafted in the first round of this year's NFL draft. These cards do not have any logos of any kind on it. There's no college logos. There's no NFL logos. Topps, as of right now, who is now owned by Fanatics, does not have the rights to either. Panini owns both of those license deals, but pretty soon NFL will be going to Fanatics in the next couple years. This product is interesting because it introduces the first logo into football cards. We've had Bowman football cards in the past, but we've never seen a type of baseball prospecting approach with it like we are right now. With Bowman baseball, as everyone knows, of course, Nate too. The first Bowman logo is the cream of the crop, and those are players that haven't even touched the MLB field yet. And this is the same instance here. They haven't touched the NFL field yet. They'll get first Bowman logos. The biggest thing about this product is that there's like a 100-player checklist. There's each player, at least in the base checklist, has 2 different images, I believe. So you will get 50 players in here. And I don't know about you, but I cannot even name 50 college players between players that will be drafted and are still going back to college. I looked at the checklist and I literally could probably name like 10 at most, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's going to be intriguing, and we'll see how those cards do and how they perform in the future if they actually do take on like a prospect field to it. Nate, thoughts quickly?
Not a big college football fan myself, so this is a no-go for me on the old Bowman University football.
Yeah, I would have to agree, especially with the no logos and all that stuff. I think if they can get logos on there eventually, like with their if they do get the college license, Fanatics also could make sense. You get actually like cards like, let's say Graham Mertz was actually good. He's not. If he was good, he was playing Wisconsin, and they have Wisconsin logos on there and a first Bowman logo. Probably buying those as he's playing at Wisconsin. Definitely.
Hey, question. Yeah, just real quick: is Graham Mertz not good, or is he just not good because he plays at Wisconsin?
No, he's literally not good. He's literally just not good.
We've seen other quarterbacks leave Wisconsin and do well elsewhere. Jack Cohen.
Okay, I don't. Yes, I get that, but he actually was good at Wisconsin. Like he had a pretty decent season. Like he is much better at Wisconsin than Graham Mertz was. It was just Graham Mertz's 4 or 5-star recruiter or whatever he was, like the first quarterback to commit to there in forever who was, or maybe ever, I don't know. And he was terrible. So no, Jack Cohen actually was pretty good at Wisconsin. I was pretty happy with his performance, and then he got hurt, and then Graham Mertz had to play, and yeah, he's been awful. But we're gonna keep chugging along here. So 2021 Revolution Basketball comes on April 27th. That'd be one of the next notable releases that we marked down. And the reason why this is notable is because this is like the first licensed product for Cade Cunningham rookies that isn't like a Donruss or a Hoops. I think both those products in my mind are kind of forgettable. And Revolution I love, but the market doesn't love as much. The reason why I love this product a lot is not only because of the amazing designs, but because of the parallel list. So if you look at the parallel list, it hasn't changed barely at all over the last 6 years or 7 years of this product. When it came out in 2015, there's been a couple added, but this year they're adding one new parallel, which is the NBA 75th anniversary parallel, number 75. Sounds amazing. They made those logos on the jerseys look really cool, so I hope that they use a kind of prismatic look to this card. Haven't seen images of it yet. Hope it looks really good, but we're talking Astro, Groove, and Fractal non-numbered. Impact out of 149, Cosmic out of 100, the 75th out of 75, Sunburst has been lowered now to out of 60 because it used to be out of 75. Cubic out of 50, Lava out of 10, and Galactic super short print, with there being no one of ones that aren't autographed. There's only one autograph, only one of one for a player in this set, which is a Kaleidoscope Auto. So I just think that the set promotes like a very 90s feel to it, where it's got desirability throughout the checklist because it's not watered down. And I don't know if it's eventually going to catch on fire because of that, but I think that that's a huge bonus when you looked at the supposedly top 3 brands that Prism Optic can select and how much watering down is happening. This isn't barely at all, and I think it's awesome. You agree with that, Nate?
I do agree. I think we're both on the same page where you look at a Sunburst of a rookie and it goes for way cheaper than you're expecting, or a Cubic, or even of a star, and you're like, out of 60, out of 75, out of 100, going for $300 of, Trae Young, take a chance on that.
Yeah,
So I like that.
you can get those type of awesome looking cards, serial numbered top rookies for the same price as like a Prism Red Ice non-numbered or something that was put in a retail format. I just think it's an excellent value play if anyone is looking for new rookies like Cade or Evan Mobley or Scotty Barnes or anything like that. Obviously, like buying within the first week of release, you might pay heightened prices, so I'd recommend waiting. Grading is a different scenario. If you're trying to get the best condition cards, you can take some risks if you want to. But I think looking at that product would be a good idea for this year, especially given it's going to release with hopefully some excitement, because there really hasn't been much NBA because of Panini's. I don't know what happened inside there with the supply chain. I don't want to like throw shade where I have no idea what happened, but it just seems ridiculous how these products are getting so delayed. 2022 Bowman Baseball is next on May 4th. Nate, give us like the 2-minute preview here.
Excited about it. I'm excited about it. I'm always excited about 2022 Bowman. First off, you always have those international prospects that nobody's really seen play yet that have a ton of upside that are going to be in the product. So be expecting a ton of names that you might not know right now that pop up at the later end of summer that you're like, ooh, I should buy that came out in 2022 Bowman. So that's nice. But then also you've got a couple guys from the past draft in Khalil Watson and Max Muncy. Both high school shortstops, both absolutely killing it in the early going, and they both have their first autos in this set. So that's really exciting. And then there's George Valera, who we've been hearing about for years from the Guardians. He finally has an auto in the set. There was a weird thing going on with him where he was supposed to have an auto in 2020 Bowman. And in fact, I saw a picture surface of his 2020 Bowman Sapphire Pad Pardasha, that was never autographed, and I don't know why they scrapped it, but now he's in 2022 Bowman. And so that's just an interesting little tidbit, but, been waiting around, been hearing his name for like 4 years now. Finally has an auto, so that's exciting. And then there's actually Aaron from our Ellie De La Cruz, also an interesting name, top 100 prospect that doesn't have an auto yet. But then Aaron, from our perspective, there's a couple guys that you should be excited about, and it is Felix Valerio, Jackson Churio, and Hendry Mendez. All Brewers prospects, all playing really well right now in the minors to start. Hendry Mendez and Jackson Churio are both 18, and Valerio has like 3 home runs in Double-A to start the year as a second baseman. lots of upside for the Brewers this year, so that's another thing I'm very excited about.
Can I bank on us scooping up some of those autos and hopefully getting them graded?
You
With
can
some SGC action?
100% bank on us picking up those autos and non-autos.
Awesome. I love it.
Guaranteed.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So excited for 2022 Bowman baseball. It's always kind of like the feeling of the prospect season is upon us once again. I'm happy for that to come. Next topic is just going to be an overall soccer release overlook, and I'm just going to say some products, say some dates here, and then give some thoughts quick. So soccer is starting to see the big sport effect come to the market. For the last few years, at least 2019 was kind of like the first year that, or the last year that we had limited product release for soccer. Topps Chrome Champions League, Topps Chrome Bundesliga, Topps Chrome Sapphire, and then a few others in between there with Panini's releases. But from a Topps perspective, there wasn't much. 2020, we saw a big variety with Topps Chrome Champions League, Topps Chrome Neon Future, Topps Japanese edition. There's a lot more on top of that too that I could rattle off. Stadium Club introduction for Topps Chrome, but Emerlin to bringing that brand back. This year is going to be way different, and Topps and also Panini too are trying to capitalize on all of the interest, which I can't blame them with. And this is a preview for what's going to happen to Formula One. In my opinion, probably 2 years from now, maybe next year it gets a little bit heightened up like 2020. 2 years from now, it'll be like this. So, except they don't have as much ability to make these types of products because there's not as many leagues, obviously. Like they could do a full Formula 2 set, I guess, if they wanted to. But we have got paper Topps Champions League that just released, which was never before. That just came out, the first paper Topps Chrome Champions or Topps Champions League. Topps Bundesliga paper is going to be another paper product for the first time May 4th. Mosaic Premier League. Why do we need a Mosaic Premier League? That's coming out on May 11th. We already get Prism Premier League, which I like some of this product with the color blast and stuff. Some of it I don't like as much. But I don't know why we need a Mosaic Premier League. Stadium Club Chrome Bundesliga. So now they did Topps Finance and Topps Finance Bundesliga last year. Now they're doing Topps Chrome Stadium Club Champions League and Topps Chrome Stadium Club Bundesliga. That's coming out on May 18th. And then on 5/25, May 25th, they are doing finally 2020 Topps Chrome Champions League soccer that we love every single year that we have gotten since 2017. On 5/25, they are also releasing Impeccable Premier League like they did last year. So that's not a new product introduction, but it's just another product in the mix in May. And then on May 18th, so taking it back a week, I skipped ahead. Obsidian Soccer is also coming out with it, which they've done for the last 2 years also. But then we also get the second editions of Mosaic Serie A and Mosaic La Liga. And then I'm sure that at some point there'll be a Mosaic World Cup. And the Mosaic Serie A and La Liga are coming on June 1st, as well as Merlin Chrome and Museum, all coming out at that time too from Topps. So we're pretty much looking at a month and a half here, somewhere around that range, with like nearly 10 products releasing. And then within like 10 days of that, I think Finance and Finance Bundesliga are releasing, or one of them's coming out first. So here's my thing about this. And this same thing's going to apply to football, NFL, that I'll speak about in a minute. All these cards are going to be releasing. There's going to be so many singles on the market. So many singles. Like, to rip this much product in this amount of time is going to be crazy. And if you pick prospects you like, Gavi's going to be the most important out of the 2021 set. But Elanga from Man United will be another softer one. If you have prospects you like, save the searches on eBay, start watching the market, and see how the supply starts to hit the market when it feels like it's just getting overwhelmed and prices seem really cheap. Snag a bunch of them up. The same thing happened last year, 2020. They released a bunch of product in a short amount of time between Finance and Stadium Club Chrome. I remember that, and Champions League Chrome. All that stuff came out around the same time, except now there's even more products added to the fold. Watch, buy some stuff when it seems cheap, because I think that there's just going to be an oversupply in the market really fast with singles. Does that make sense to you, Nate?
Yeah. You only have so many people buying, so you're probably going to get huge deals and it might not be the Topps Chrome UCL, but you might get an insane deal on a Merlin Chrome or a Museum.
Right, exactly. And I, fingers crossed, hope that Topps, as they're releasing all these products, and I know that not only is there more products, I know that the print runs are going to be bigger, or at least we can assume. I guess I don't have confirmation, but we can assume that the print runs will be bigger on these things. Overall print run for sure between all the products combined. I hope that Topps doesn't like release these boxes too expensive, or then down the line, right? Because it's not only Topps, there's distributors and everything that comes down the line, and costs keep on getting passed down the line too, which is why sometimes by the time it gets to the end consumer or the reseller before that, boxes are expensive. I hope that it's all kind of in the affordable range, quote unquote, because there's so much coming out one time, but we'll see. All right, on to NFL quick. So NFL is another thing that's really, really screwed up. Now, the soccer I just talked about isn't really that screwed up. Like, sure, the 2021 Top Trim Champions League is coming out right when the Champions League final is a little late. But what I'm talking here is finally we will get Prism NFL. I think it's been delayed. It was supposed to come out before this year's 2022 draft. So we're talking Trevor Lawrence's main Prism rookie releasing like 2 days before the 2022 NFL draft, when you'll see like Malik Willis get drafted. But now it got pushed back to May 11th. Now this is after the 2022 draft. And it is not only on May 11th, it releases after National Treasures, Nate. National Treasures comes on May 4th. There's no time I ever remember, NT coming out before Prism. I have to imagine it's because of the amount of cards being produced and all that stuff and all the packaging that is really delaying this product versus NT, which is obviously more limited, obviously less cards, not as many packs, all that stuff. But wait, there's more. May 11th, not only is Prism releasing, supposedly, I should have said way early on, all this information is from cardboardconnection.com. They've got the release calendar. That's where I'm getting all this information. Here's a little screen grab showing the release calendar. You can go look at it too. Not only on May 11th do we have Prism NFL releasing, we also have Select NFL releasing supposedly on the exact same day, May 11th. Two of the biggest products, definitely production run-wise, but also perception-wise, Prism and Select on the exact same day, May 11th. But guess what? Not only are those two products releasing on May 11th, 2022 Prism Draft Picks Football with the college jersey autographs of Malik Willis is also supposed to be coming out on May 11th. Like, what is this, dude? What is this?
Who is going to be buying 2022 Prism Draft Picks with regular Prism from last year with a significantly better quarterback class and Select coming out?
Well, the amount of people buying draft picks is limited in general, but so I just think it's ridiculous that they're all coming out at the same time. But the other thing, it's just like, so we have to wait this long to get just Prism, but then we put on the same day as Select. And then guess what? If you don't have enough Prism or Select rookies from the NFL rookie quarterbacks like Lawrence and Fields, come June 3rd, a few weeks later, you can get Optic Football finally. So this is going to be the same thing as soccer. We're going to have all these singles flooding the market. If you are a singles buyer buying raw to get graded or just buying raw to hold, whatever it is, you should really set your calendar notifications for anywhere between like May 18th or even May 11th if you want to be looking right away up until like the end of July. I feel like that there's going to be so many cards out there. This will be one of the best buying periods if you truly believe in a 2021 NFL quarterback. Now, some people might not believe in any. They might not believe in Mac Jones, Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, or Trevor Lawrence, and then also Davis Mills. I know a lot of people are talking about. But if you do believe in them, I would very much so keep your eyes peeled. People also might be distracted with National Treasures coming out 1 week before Select and Prism. This will be a crazy period. I'm excited for it, actually. Like, at first, I'm like, really like, why is all this stuff releasing at the same time? But as a singles buyer, I think it should be an exciting time, Nate. Would you agree with that too?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what those pages are going to look like if you look up, if you look up 5 of these guys at one time, tops, or Prism, Optic, Select, you'll get like 6 pages of 240 searches on eBay per day.
Yeah, no, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. So all of that being said, an interesting way to release stuff. But I think it's a big benefit to those who are trying to stock up on singles and get them graded and pay less prices. If they had Prism release like they were supposed to in January, which is late as it is too, that would have made January and then maybe like a March Select release and then maybe like a June Optic release spread out by 2 months each. People are paying big prices for each of them. Now we can all hope as singles buyers that we can get some good deals, and I think it's going to be really important. So don't take this as a negative. I'm trying to spin these like potentially negatives as positives because we do love thinking about cards in the positive light. So like, let's look at this as like, hey, let's get ready to buy some singles for the NFL season coming up.
I have a question for you, and this is going to come out a little bit negative after what you just said, but bear with me. So people obviously have a finite amount of money they can spend in general. They don't. Nobody's money is endless unless you're like Elon Musk, I guess.
I was gonna say Elon Musk,
and that's probably why we've been seeing a lot of money being spent on trash products like WWE Prism, because there weren't the Prism NFLs and Selects and Optics and stuff for people to spend their money on.
Well,
correct?
hey, remember trash. Let's say that that's subjective to who you are.
To who? Yes, subjective to me. Um, so people are spending huge amounts of money on products that maybe wouldn't get a huge amount of money if there was actual premium products from other sports releasing at the same time. Like if Prism NFL released and Prism WWE released, what do you think would get more money spent on?
Yeah, I mean, NFL would obviously get more money spent on it. It would overshadow the release of Prism WWE, right? Like that product release, you're right, at a time when there's really nothing like super exciting releasing, especially from Panini. But I do think that there still would have been that group of people that would have been excited about it, just not to the extent. Do we see them like touch at $1,300 a hobby box? Probably not. Is it still more than what they were supposed to release at? Probably.
So I guess what I'm getting at then is that you have people that wouldn't be spending their money on it, spending their money on that because it's the only thing out there. Now, for some people, that's just money being taken away from the Prism Select optic market and the soccer market and stuff like that because they were going to spend it, but now they spend it on WWE and maybe they didn't get a good return and now they don't have an extra thousand to spend on football. Um, and so I guess what I'm wondering is we think that there will be a lot of singles out there, but what if it takes a while for people to rip because there's so many products at one time and there's just I don't think there will be some people for sure, but there's the regular Joe Blows that open one box of each thing as it releases or two boxes of each thing as it releases. Well, they're not going to be able to do that because they'd have to do that all in 1 month.
Yeah, I get the whole one box thing will be slowed down. I don't think it matters. I think there'll be so much of the stuff getting broken between the million different places you can open sports cards online, break cards online. I think we're still going to see this flood, but it's a good thing to think about in counterpoint. And also, I do want to point out that just because Nate or I even has an opinion about one product being not as significant to us doesn't mean for someone else that it's wrong to buy or wrong to collect it.
That's fair.
Just
There
want
are
to be fair.
people. If you like WWE, of course you're going to be excited about Prism WWE. So I'm not trying to poo-poo on your joys in life, but for me, WWE just doesn't do it. So therefore, Prism WWE doesn't do it for me.
I agree, and we've said before that like of all the things that there's something to get excited about for us, it's not the WWE market, but there's clearly people out there that love it and watch all the time. So we've got two products left on this list, and these won't take long. Second installation of Topps Overtime Elite is going to come out with Inception on May 18th. I believe that they're all on card autos, patches in that set too. Now, I did talk to Sam from Overtime Elite, and he said that the patches are not game worn at this time, but he said the big thing for him pushing for 2022 is to get all game worn patches. I imagine maybe he just said, it's a lot more difficult than you think, outside looking in to like get these things done. He's been pushing for on card autos and game worn patches and everything. So we will see that come out. The cards will look awesome. And some of the first Topps Chrome Elite basketball Chrome rookies are selling really well if they're rare and of the big names. But just another thing to look out for if you do want some affordable product to potentially rip, it will definitely be cheaper than an NBA product you can ever buy. And maybe you sit on it for a couple of years and it does well. And then the last one I want to bring up is that there's no Formula One talk on any of these before because there really isn't like no Formula One product left outside of Dynasty 2021. The second installment of Dynasty is also going to be coming out, and that is on the calendar with May. It doesn't have a date. Will we see in May? Will we see it in June? I have no idea. This will have Ricky Patrellas of Yuki Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher, so those should be massive. It should have some awesome dual autos. It should have more autos of guys like Lewis Hamilton, Verstappen, Leclerc, all those guys. So this should be another really exciting product, but product is so insanely limited. I literally can't get my hands on any boxes. I've talked to pretty much everyone I know, and I can't even get any boxes of 2021 Dynasty. So Topps definitely did not ramp up the production of 2021 Formula One stuff. So my point here is that is the last product on the release calendar for the year for Formula One, which includes Topps, Topps Chrome, and Topps Dynasty. There was one more addition with the Topps paper this year. Look out next year to have similar stuff happen like 2020 soccer, and look out the year after that. So like a 2023 Dynasty or 2023 Formula One start to go the realm of like multiple products each year. Now, like we talked about last week, go listen to the weekly slab from last week, number 19. There's a little bit more challenges with that because there's not like 10 different soccer leagues with all these different levels, all that, like there's so many soccer players, all this stuff, which makes it lend itself to more product, which I do want to shout out to. Topps Chrome Champions League Women's League soccer for the first time is releasing this in April or May. Also, I forgot to add that into the soccer chat. It's another product that's new that was never released before. So you will have like your Chelsea women's squad, your Arsenal women's squad, Barcelona, which is absolutely dominant. You're going to see some big cards come out of that. I'm not lying. There is some super popular women's players over there in Europe, just like the men's squads. And there will be some big cards coming out of that. Excited to see that as well. But basically, that wraps up what the products we're kind of looking at for the next April, May, and early June. Doesn't mean that these are the only products releasing. There's many more. So go look at cardboardconnection.com, scroll through the release calendar. You'll be able to see stuff you want. And in general, get ready to buy some singles because I think we just talked about darn near 20 products releasing that we think are even somewhat important. So should be an exciting time for singles buyers. If you are looking to open product, just make sure you obviously check prices and how much stuff is in different locations. Always good to at least gauge competitive pricing for sure. Any last thoughts, Nate?
Exciting time to be tracking cards on eBay and PWCC and check out mycards.com. But I'm curious to see how it all works. I'm curious to see how stuff gets ripped and what gets ripped first. So
absolutely. I'm excited too. Speaking of PWCC, now we have our FlipQuest 2022 updates. So let's check it out and see what's happening in the weekly auction number 14. This past Sunday on the FlipQuest 2022 episode number 13, we purchased 4 cards here to add to our FlipQuest collection. Super excited about these. I'll talk about my 2, and then Nate can talk about his 2. Although Nate kind of has half interest in one of them. First one, Pedri 2020 Finest Green Refractor Auto of 99 PSA 9, got it for $840. One of them sold for around $1,000 right when at his peak performance a couple weeks ago. He did sustain a small injury, a hamstring injury, so I hope he gets back healthy. But this is definitely a hold for the World Cup. I mean, Spain's going to be nice. Pedri, top young player, one of the top young players in the world. Really excited about that one. And then also a Jonathan Taylor rookie auto from Flawless with the diamond numbered out of 10. It is a PSI 5 with the 10 auto. The raw of this card is sold around $1,000, so we got it for $324. We are going to, I already actually did put in a shipment request for this to get shipped to us. We're going to crack it. We're going to resend it to PSA, and we're going to see what it grades. If it grades a 2, if it grades a 5, or if it grades an 8, there will be something to be said. I guess from the hope of consistent grading, we hope it gets a 5, given that I don't damage this thing cracking it out. If it comes back a 2, we know something probably happened with on my end. If it comes back an 8, then we have something to think about here. And Nate, what were the 2 that you snagged for us?
So we got the Everson Pereira Speckle Auto number 299 PSA 10. He's been absolutely killing it in the early going, again in high A, which he ended the year and he killed it there last year. So would love to see him up in double A. And if he does well in double A, you can expect this card to skyrocket. I imagine we could get this card up to like $800 by midsummer. We paid $492 for it. So I'll take that. And then Adley Rushman, Bowman Chrome Sapphire Green, PSA 9. $276 for one of the top 3 prospects in baseball, depending on who you go with. Prospect list wise is an insane deal. Insane deal.
Numbered out 50. Numbered out
50. Bowman Chrome first of one of the top 3 prospects. And yes, he is a catcher, but I do think the logic here was that he will get called up at some point when he is healthy. He's not healthy right now, but when he is healthy, he will get called up instantaneously and be on that Orioles team. And instead of being called up at the beginning of the year like everyone thought before injury, he would have had to deal with the call-ups of Bobby Witt Jr. and Julio Rodriguez and Spencer Torkelson and all that excitement. So now when he gets called up, he will be the top name getting called up at that moment. And I do think that will help excitement around him, and there won't be anybody to compete with. And therefore, he should see a nice bump in prices.
I realistically can see this thing selling for $400, like on the brink of his call-up, at least.
Yeah.
That's
so flash auction for the win.
Flash auctions were introduced this past Sunday, and we did see a bunch. And in this upcoming Sunday, there are 588 different flash auctions. What this is if you do hold cards in your vault account, you can literally go in there, select your card, click send to flash auction, and it will get listed in the most upcoming weekly auction. But you have to submit it by Wednesday at midnight. So basically, like today, as we're recording this, if I submit anything right now, it would come in, it would go into this auction ending this Sunday. I think that it's a little short sometimes, depending on what card you have. If it's like, like Nate's Julio Rodriguez, PSN9 Mojo, Bowman Mega Box, that's not that high end of a card. I wouldn't really worry about flashing that type of card. If it's like $1,000 plus card or a rare card, I'd probably rather wait until Thursday to submit it, which would then get it into the next Sunday's auction, which is actually what we did. And we do have a card, or actually like 5 of them coming up this week, but I'll preview one of them. Steven Stamkos, 2012 This is the Fleer Retro PMG SGC 8 Red Ob 100. Already at $100. I think I spent $104 on this thing raw. So I'd have to think it's going to go upwards of 200, I hope. That's my goal. I mean, we had PK Subban sell for 125, and Stamkos is a way bigger name and way better player right now, and on the Lightning. So this should really sell pretty well, and I'm excited to see that one end. So here are the cards we have bid on right now for the weekly auction number 14, happening this Sunday night, 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. Join our YouTube live if you've got some time, because it's a fun time. We give away some slabs and we bid and sell cards through this auction. It's a super awesome time, in my opinion. But this auction is super loaded. If you're looking at YouTube right now, you can just see the top cards here. If you're on podcast, you listen to two of the ones we'll talk about, which, Nate, here is yours. This thing is sick. What is this?
So this is a 2021 Topps Dynasty dual patch auto of Trout and Ohtani. The Ohtani obviously has like the laundry tag, authentic, majestic laundry tag there, which is absolutely sick. And Trout has just a nice 3-color patch there with one color showing up twice. That's pretty cool. But a 1-of-1 Trout and Ohtani auto, two of the best players in baseball when healthy, it doesn't really get much better than that. And this is the type of card I was telling Aaron beforehand, I wouldn't sell it. Like, if I had this, I would not sell this. I would bring it to shows. I'd show it off. And then if somebody wanted to blow me out of the water with it, sure. But selling it, putting it on auction, whew, this is a card that will not come up very often.
Definitely. There's two different ways to look at it. One is, let me put on auction and get a bidding war on this, because there are people like you who are exactly thinking about that. Like, if you get the people like that all bidding on this card, it can end super well. On the flip side, if you're the buyer of this, you might end up doing pretty well someday if you can put this thing out there and have two of the best players in baseball on the same card, 1-of-1. It's nasty. And also Topps Dynasty for the win.
Ew.
Love that card. It's currently at $3,500. So if you are interested, go ahead, because it's insane. It's probably going to end for a super large amount of money. But the one I'm going to point out here is Luka. So Luka currently missed the first two games of the Mavericks and Jazz series, but got helped out by his buddy Jalen Brunson, who dropped 41 points in game 2 to lead them to the series tie of 1-1. Now, will Luka be back in the series? I heard that like this type of injury for him specifically will take like 2 weeks, but I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But I do want to talk about this card, because I know this card's ending on Sunday night. 2018 Immaculate Rookie Patch Auto, one of my favorite sets every single year is Immaculate. Numbered out 77 is jersey number. So this is the jersey number RPA. Back in the day when Giannis's came on in 2013, the jersey number was the ultimate card. Now it is still like a massive card, but they don't like it. Now all of the patch autos are acetate. Back then, it was specific to just the jersey number cards that were acetate. So this card just has, in my opinion, a little bit more history behind it, a little bit more exciting. Like, I'd even maybe consider this card bigger appeal than like maybe even like the Gold Eye of 10. Now, people might disagree with me on that, but I think this card's awesome. It's got the sapphire foil on the card. It's currently at $1,575, which is not enough right now. If anyone does want to go on and start bidding on this thing, feel free to, because this card is going to be a pretty high selling card. And for the prices, let me check really quick. So the last time that this Luka did sell, it actually sold for $14,000 on March 11th, not graded in the Panini redemption case or the encased tag on it. But the last time that an 8.5 sold, I don't know what number this is if this is number 9, it's the exact same one. This is not number 9. The last time that one sold in 8.5 was $11,988 back on June 24th of last year. So pretty big expectations for this to go upwards of $15,000, somewhere in that range, and super excited to see what sells for, but that is the one I will be watching this week. So if you do want to come to our Flip Quest episode this weekend, it is a live stream here on YouTube, right where you're watching, 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. Come watch us bid, come watch us sell, talk about the market, hear what we're doing and why, and then also have a chance to win some free slabs. We generally give away around 2 per show, or at least we try to, 1 at the minimum, and would love to have you on our YouTube live stream on Sunday night at 9:45 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you, everyone, for watching this week's episode of the Weekly Slab here on the SlabStox YouTube channel and podcast network. This was episode number 20. We talked about the release calendar for the next month and a half. Super jam-packed. Like we said, be on the lookout for singles, soccer, and football. There will be some basketball product coming out, but soccer and football is going to be the overloaded products. So if you are soccer and football collectors or buyers and sellers, might be a good idea to watch those. And really excited for this upcoming Sunday's PWCC weekly auction, because there's a bunch of massive cards ending, and we will be live streaming that. So feel free to come by. Other than that, We will be back next Thursday with episode number 21. We hope you have a great rest of your week, great weekend, and we will see you all on Sunday night.